Have you ever made one small mistake and somehow your brain turned it into evidence against you? Not just I miss a step, but here we go again. I always do this. Why can't I get it right? Maybe I'm the problem. And the worst part is, from the outside, it might look small. A missed detail, a forgotten step, a message you did not answer, a task you started late, but inside, it feels like proof. For years, I thought that feeling meant I needed to try harder. But then I noticed a pattern. And once I saw that pattern, I realized the mistake was not the thing destroying my confidence. Something else was. By the end of this video, I'll show you the pattern I kept repeating and the shift that helped me stop turning mistakes into identity wounds. Now, if you have ADHD, anxiety, or you grew up being corrected a lot, mistakes can hit different, right? They do not always feel like neutral information, they feel like personal. One mistake can become a whole story, and you forget something and suddenly your brain says, you're responsible. You miss a detail and suddenly it says, you're careless. You get overwhelmed and suddenly it says, you're lazy. You struggle to start and suddenly it says, you have no discipline. This is the part people do not always see. They see the task, they see the mistake. They see the delay, but they do not see the mental spiral that happens after. And sometimes that spiral is heavier than the actual mistake. I know this because I have lived it. Growing up with inattentive ADHD, I did not always understand why simple instructions felt hard to hold in my mind. I could hear something, fully intend to do it right, and still miss a step or do it out of order. And when that happens enough times, you start building a story about yourself. For me, that story sounded like, maybe I'm not smart enough. Later in life, especially in work environments where details really mattered, that story came back. Details matter, processes matter, deadlines matter. And when I made errors, it was not just frustrating, it felt like confirmation. Like the old story was right. And when you are working from that place, every mistake feels louder than it should. Because you are not just trying to fix the task, you are trying to fight the belief that something is wrong with you. Here's the pattern I started noticing. Mistake, shame, pressure, rush, another mistake. That was the loop. I would make a mistake and then shame would show up. Then pressure would come in and say, fix it fast, prove you can handle it. Do not let them see you struggling. So I would rush. And because I rushed, I was more likely to miss something else. Then that second mistake became more proof. But the problem was not just the original mistake, the problem was the state I entered after the mistake. Because shame does not make you more accurate. Shame makes you more reactive. And when you are reactive, you are not moving from clarity, you are moving from fear. The shift was this. I had to stop asking what is wrong with me and start asking what was missing. That question changed everything because what is wrong with me creates shame, but what was missing creates clarity. Was clarity missing? Was time missing? Was checklist missing? Was a reminder missing? Was a slower first pass missing? Was support missing? That is where systems come in, not as punishment, not as proof that you are weak, but as support. A system is simply a way to make the next right step easier to repeat. Here's the tool I use. When something goes wrong, I use 4 steps: fear, insight, action, and reflection. First, fear. Name what your brain is saying. Maybe it is, I'm going to mess things up. Maybe it is, they think I'm not capable. Maybe it is, I should know better by now. Or maybe it is, I always do this. Do not judge the fear, just name it. Second, insight. Find the workable truth, not the dramatic truth, not the shame version, the workable truth. I made a mistake because I rushed. The task was unclear. I need a checklist. I need to slow the first lap. I need to ask one clarifying question. Third, action. Take one small step, not the whole mountain, one step. Check the name, verify the date, send the message, write the first line, set the reminder, open the document, ask the question. The smaller the step, the easier it is to begin. Fourth, reflection. Ask yourself, What helped? What was missing? What can I make easier next time? This is how you turn shame into information, and information into a system. Let me give you one simple example. Let's say I have to submit something important. The old version of me might rush because I want to get it done and prove I can handle it, but rushing creates rework. So now I use what I call the slow first lap. First pass, I slow down and understand the task. Second pass, I complete it. Third pass, I verify names, dates, numbers, attachments, summary. That simple system protects me from turning pressure into more mistakes. And even when I do make a mistake, I do not have to turn it into a story about who I am. I can ask, what was missing? What is clarity? What is time? What is a checklist? What is a reminder? Was I moving too fast? That is how you build confidence, not by pretending you will never mess up, but by proving to yourself that you can recover, adjust, and grow. So if one mistake has been feeling like proof that you are the problem, I want you to pause. Maybe the mistake is not asking you to hate yourself. Maybe it is asking you to build support, a checklist, a reminder, a slower first pass, a clearer next step, a breath before you respond. You do not need to become a completely different person. You need support for the person you already are becoming. Shame says, try harder, but presence asks, what was missing? And that question can change everything. Be present, be patient, be positive. This is the inside of presence. If you are learning how to work with ADHD, anxiety, and self-doubt, instead of fighting yourself every day, subscribe. This is what we're building here. Have a good day.